Hello and welcome to Yoga with Rachel. This is our final class for the Earth season. Linked in the right-hand corner are all of the classes from the past 3 months. Feel free to revisit these classes whenever you feel that they will best serve you. Today's yoga class is for inner strength and grounding. We continue to explore our lovely connection to the earth. I invite you to bring a blanket as well as a yoga block or a thick book to our practice today. I will provide options just in case these items are not available. All right, let's get started. We begin our practice in a cross-legged seat. I invite you to sit on a folded blanket to lift the hips, creating space. Before we find stillness, I invite you to find some organic movement. This may mean looping your shoulders, neck circles, arm circles, and so on. When you feel satisfied, find stillness. Lift up through the pelvic floor, feeling your sit bones rooting down into the earth. Roll your shoulders back, heart shines forward. Tuck in your chin slightly. Place your left hand in front of you, near the base of your spine, and then rest your right hand on top of your left. Breathe in, and then on the breath out, close your eyes or look directly past your nose. Breathe in to send the breath down to your hands. Breathe out to send the breath in the opposite direction. Breathe in, directing the breath down, down, down to your hands. And then breathe out. I invite you to keep this directional breath going for a few more rounds. You take it away. One more breath cycle. Connecting to our breath can help us stay grounded or rooted in the present moment. This tool is useful when we are experiencing uncertainty, unknowns, stressors, worries, and so forth. I encourage you to tap into the breath today to help you stay grounded and to persevere during challenging moments as we explore some strong postures. Open your eyes. Place your hands on your knees. Lower your left shoulder towards your right knee. Hold here for a moment. Come back to center. Lower your right shoulder towards your left knee. Stay here. And then come back to center. Continue this action a few more times, going at your own pace, perhaps marrying the breath to the action. Breathe in to center, breathe out to lower. One more round on each side. Great work. Keep your hands resting on your knees. Start off by drawing slow circles with your upper body, keeping the lower half of your body rooted in place as best as possible. Eventually, our circles become medium-sized circles. A kind reminder to keep that breath flowing as you do this. And then create large circles. I like to imagine that I am stirring a pot of delicious soup as I do this action. Now take your circle in the opposite direction, starting off with the larger circles, then medium, and then small. Eventually, we come back to center and find stillness. Notice how you feel. Perhaps taking note of the sensations and the energy flowing throughout your body. Swim your hands behind you. Place your feet on your mat, feet wider than hip distance. Draw your chin towards the sky. Loop your shoulders. Imagine that you are on a beach, lounging in the sand, enjoying the gorgeous sun. Perhaps you smile a little here. Now melt your knees over to the right. It is all good if the knees do not connect with the ground. Go to a point where you feel a lovely stretch and some work being done in the hips. Knees come back through center and then melt to the left. Right, left, right, and then left. Bring your knees back to center, and now let's make our way to all fours. You can use your blanket to pad your knees or fold your yoga mat over. Bring your big toes together, the knees go wide. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat as you begin to sit back towards your heels. Breathe in, and then breathe out to melt your heart space to the earth, extended child's pose. As we are here, I invite you to tap into that directional breath, sending the breath to the base of your spine on the inhale, and then on the exhale, sending the breath to your fingertips as the breath returns to the earth. Play around with this grounding posture for a moment. On your next breath in, press into all that is touching the earth as you lift up and come forward. Heart shines forward, hips move past your knees. Rock your pelvis forward to create length in the low back. Hug the belly button towards the spine. Breathe out to move back to extended child's pose. Breathe in to come forward, rooting down through the tops of your feet. Fingertips lightly grip your yoga mat. Exhale to sit back towards your heels, extended child's pose. I invite you to continue to flow, sinking breath to action. Feel free to close your eyes, turn your attention inward, notice how this movement feels in your body. And if your knees are talking to you, I recommend patting them with a blanket. Wherever you are, one more round. Great work. Walk your knees under your hips, wrists are stacked under the shoulders. Fan out your fingers, lightly grip your yoga mat with the fingertips. Tops of the feet connect with the earth. Pelvis rocks forward, reach the crown of your head towards the top edge of your mat. Now step your right foot back, toes rest on the earth. Breathe in, and breathe out to lift your right foot off of the ground. Your right leg is roughly parallel to the earth. Dial your toes down. Imagine that you are stamping your foot into a wall. Breathe in, and then breathe out to send your left hand forward, reaching. We are testing our balance and stability. Feel free to lower the right toes back down to the earth if that feels best for you. Create length. Perhaps imagine that you are being pulled in opposite directions. Breathe in, and then breathe out to make your way back to a tabletop position on all fours. Now step your left foot back towards the back edge of your mat. Breathe in, and then breathe out to lift the left foot off of the earth. Dial your toes down to try to level out the hips. Breathe in, and then breathe out to send your right hand forward, thumb facing towards the sky. Hold here. Breathe in, and breathe out to come back to all fours. Let's take a break off of our wrists for a moment. Curl your toes under and begin to walk your hands back to your thighs. Guide your pinky toes under. This is such a lovely stretch for the soles of your feet. There is an option to keep your palms resting on the earth, as this stretch can be quite intense. I invite you to take zombie arms, pointing the fingers towards the earth to receive a generous stretch in your forearms. Loop your shoulders to create some space and breathe here. Wonderful. Release your palms back to the earth, untuck your toes, and then tap out the tops of your feet. Make your way back to a tabletop position. Step your right foot back and then your left foot. Press away from your yoga mat. Heels reach towards the back edge of your mat. There's an option to stay here, or you can draw your right knee in towards your chest, reset. Then draw your left knee in, reset. Keep this action going. We are here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. And then breathe out to a downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Bend your knees, melting your chest towards your thighs. Option to widen your stance by bringing your hands and also your feet to the long edges of your mat. While we are here, pedal out your feet, rocking your hips from side to side. Perhaps feeling a lovely stretch in the backs of your legs, ankles, and your feet. Perhaps you play around with that directional breath, sending the breath to your tail on the inhale, and then on the exhale, directing that breath back down to the earth. Find stillness. Begin to walk your hands to your feet where we meet in a forward fold. Bend your knees. Fingertips rest on the earth. Gently shake your head yes, and then no to soften through the neck. Now walk your hands forward, stacking wrists under your shoulders, coming back into a plank. Breathe in, and then breathe out to make your way back to a downward facing dog. Step or hop your feet to the top edge of your mat. We meet in a forward fold, feet under your hips, and we are here for one breath cycle. Slowly roll up through your spine. Crown of your head reaches towards the sky. Breathe in to send your hands to the sky. Exhale, hands come to your heart in prayer position. Feel free to close your eyes. Turn your attention to your foundation, your feet. Notice how your feet connect with the earth. Where is a weight being placed in your feet? In the balls of your feet, the heels, outer edges, or the arches? Notice without passing judgment. Perhaps you play around with lifting your toes away from the earth, spreading through your toes, and then releasing your toes one at a time back to the ground. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Open your eyes. Breathe in to come up onto your tiptoes as you send your hands to the sky. Breathe out to lower your heels. Keep your hands reaching overhead. Your whole foot rests on the earth. Seeking breath to movement. Breathe in to come up onto your tiptoes. Breathe out to lower your heels. Keep this action going at your own pace, connecting breath to action. Perhaps feeling the blood flowing in the opposite direction in your arms. Noticing the calf muscles turn on as we flow. Working on both balance and stability, paying close attention to how our feet connect to the earth when we lower. One more round. Wonderful. Rest your whole foot on the earth. Keep your hands reaching overhead. Create space between your palms. Imagine that you are holding the earth between your hands. Breathe in, and then on your next breath out, find an open twist to your right. Left arm forward, right arm back. Small bend in your knees. Breathe in to send your hands to the sky. Breathe out, open twist to the left. Breathe in, hands to the sky. Breathe out to float your hands back down to your sides. Now walk your feet together, legs connect. Breathe in. And then breathe out to drop your center, bending at your knees. Imagine that you are sitting in a chair. The weight is in your hips and your heels. Lengthen down through your tailbone. Reach your arms forward. Arms are in line with your shoulders, palms facing towards the ground. Breathe in. And then on your breath out, come up onto your tiptoes, building strength and heat in the body. Working on balance and stability. You got this. Breathe in. And then breathe out to release your heels back to the earth. Keep your knees bent. Shift your weight over to your left foot as you hover your right foot away from the ground. Let's hold here for a breath cycle. Release your right foot back to the earth. Shift your weight to your right foot as you lift your left foot away from the earth. One breath cycle here. Beautiful. Release and rise up, standing tall on your mat once again. Walk your feet under your hips. Take a moment to notice how the lower half of your body feels and also reconnect with your breath. Step your right foot back towards the back edge of your mat. Pivot on your right foot, so that way the whole foot connects with the earth. Toes point in slightly. Bend your front leg, so that way your knee is stacked over your ankle. Breathe in, and then breathe out to send your left arm forward, right arm back. Turn to look past your left fingertips. Warrior 2. As we ground down and build strength, consider ways in which you can persevere through the challenge. Perhaps turn your attention to the breath. Maybe make some adjustments with your stance so that way you feel more balanced and steady. Maybe you smile, make a silly face, repeat a mantra to yourself, like I got this or I am strong. One more breath cycle. Straighten through your front leg as you reach your left hand to the sky. Right hand drops to your right thigh. Roll your left shoulder back, look up. Open up through your chest. Breathe in, and then breathe out to come back to a warrior 2. 2 more rounds. Breathe in, straighten through your leg and reach. Breathe out, warrior 2. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Great. Straighten through your front leg. Keep your arms reaching from left to right. Turn your toes to face forward. Feet under your wrists. Draw your hands back to receive a generous stretch in your chest. Lengthen down through your tailbone, pressing into the whole foot, including the heels and outer edges. Feel the energy from the ground beneath you, moving its way up through the soles of your feet as you breathe in. And then on the exhale, notice this energy flowing in the opposite direction, back to the earth. I invite you to play around with this image as we breathe here. Turn your toes to face the corners of your mat, heels point in. Hands can rest on your waistline. Breathe in, and then breathe out to bend at your knees. Knees trace over your feet. Thighs are roughly parallel to the sky. Press into the outer edge of your foot. Gently place your hands on your thighs. Dip your right shoulder in towards center, and then reset. Dip your left shoulder in, and then reset. Let's keep this action going. Breathing in to make our way back to center, and then breathing out to dip. Go at your own pace. Tap into your inner strength if and when things become challenging. One more round on each side. Wonderful. We breathe in together, and then on our next breath out, we rise up. Feel free to give the hips a little shake. Let's make our way back into a warrior two on the other side. Turn your right toes to face what is now the front edge of your yoga mat. Left toes turn in slightly. Hips are angled. Sink into your front leg. Breathe in, and then breathe out to open to a warrior two. Right arm is forward this time. Look past your right fingertips and breathe here. Begin to straighten through your front leg, reaching your right hand to the sky. Left hand drops to your left thigh. Breathe in, and then breathe out to come back to a warrior two. Let's flow. Breathe in to reach and straighten through your front leg. Breathe out to sink into your front leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more round. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Straighten through your right leg. Turn your toes in. Let's keep our feet connected to the earth as we heel toe our feet, so that way they are wider than the hips and about as wide as the narrow ends of your yoga mat. Toes turn out with the heels pointing in. Bring your hands together and then to your heart. Breathe in. And then on your next breath out, bend at your knees, dropping your center, coming into a low squat. It is all good if your heels lift away from the ground. You can always play around with placing the whole foot on the ground. Feel free to place your hands on the earth for support. For today's practice, I invite you to place a yoga block or a thick book on its medium height under your seat for support. Of course, if that option is not available, you can always just keep your hands resting on the earth. If your hands are in front of your heart, connect your outer elbows with your inner thighs. Shine your chest forward and breathe. Perhaps using your imagination here, pretending as if your feet are like the roots of a tree, soaking up the nutrients of the earth on the inhale, and then giving back to the earth on the exhale. We are here for 3 breath cycles. Release your hands to the earth. Remove the yoga block from under your seat. Swim your hands behind you to help you lower down to the earth. Let's come to lay on our backs. Walk your feet in and then to the long edges of your mat, toes point out. Arms rest at your sides, palms face down. Tuck in your chin slightly. Breathe in to press into all that is touching the earth to send the hips to the sky, exploring a wide bridge. For more of a lift in the heart space, snuggle your shoulders under your back body. Lift your chest towards your chin, and then your chin towards the sky. Breathe out to slowly lower back down to the earth, feeling your body connect with the ground. Breathe in to send your hips to the sky. There's an option to lift your heels away from the ground. Feel your calf muscles turn on. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to lift. And then breathe out to lower back down. Walk your feet in and then hug your knees in towards your chest. Find a gentle rock from side to side to massage your back. Place your hands on your kneecaps and stack your knees over your hips. Shins and feet dangle. Draw slow circles with your knees one way. And then the other way. Stack your knees over your hips once again. Open your knees wide, and then draw your knees in towards your chest. Legs come together. And then once again, stack your knees over your hips. Knees go wide. Hug the knees in. Stack the knees over the hips. Keep this action going for a few more rounds. One more round. Lovely. Release your feet to the earth and then send your legs out long on your mat. Take up space. Arms and hands rest at your sides. Palms face upwards, fingertips curl in. I now invite you to close your eyes. Breathe in through your nose and then breathe out through your nose. Feel the weight of your body connect with the earth beneath you, perhaps feeling the support of the earth. Take a few beautiful deep breath cycles here as we soak up the nutrients of our practice. You can also play around with that directional breath, sending breath down to your belly on the inhale, and then on the exhale, the breath travels in the opposite direction. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, my darling friends, I hope that you enjoyed today's earth flow for grounding and inner strength. Subscribe to the channel, share this video, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment, as I would love to hear from you. Bring your hands together and then to your third eye. Sending lots of love your way. Together we say, Namaste.